Hello, everyone. Today, to talk about the current issues regarding the High Court judgment and the pandemic and the crisis, we have with us Professor and the Senior High Court lawyer, Professor Lalit Kumar. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in this conversation. So, before starting the conversations, I would like to quote some of the High Courts actually strongly given warnings. I can say that warnings to the various state government. Now I'm going to read it out. Which state high court actually strongly given aggressive statements against the various governments? At least 11 high courts across the country given these statements. Now I'm going to start with Uttar Pradesh, which is living with a completely different planet to the reality. Allahabad High Court said, "We would be laughed at that we have enough money to spend on elections and very little to spend on public health." And even West Bengal High Court also pulled up election commission just circulating the circulars but not implementing it. And very interestingly, sir, Gujarat High Court also said, very interesting comment, I can say that. It said that hiding the real pictures, suppressing accurate data will generate more serious problems, including fear, loss of trust, and panic among the public. And again, very, 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 I think, serious findings. Again, I can go also Bombay High Court. Bombay High Court also very interesting. So it said that it is given a very strong argument against government, state government as well as uh, even central government. Also, it said that if you don't feel ashamed of yourself, we are feeling ashamed of being a part of such a nasty society. You are neglecting and ignoring patients. We give you solution, you do not follow it. You do not give us solution. What absolute nonsense is going on here? By these are the statements by Justice S.B. Shukre and S.M. Modak. So I know that you have been following all the latest developments, and these are the very aggressive statements. I think you might not have received from the last even 20 years also not this much of aggressive statements. You might have not received this. But so how do we understand all these statements by the high courts?
Uh, Very good afternoon to all of you. And now we are in a peculiar situation. We can call it as a health emergency. As the courts have pointed out, it is a grave situation, and there should not be politics in the particular uh, measures which are taken to curb the COVID pandemic. Now, actually, 1 year has passed by since the particular COVID situation started. The first cases they came up round about March 2000, and by September the peak was reached. Then it subsided, and then the second wave came in different countries. But we in India, we were not expecting such a huge surge in the particular, that is, second wave. Only it was initially limited to certain states: Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, Delhi. So it was thought that other parts of India would not face so much of problems with regard to the COVID pandemic. But all the calculations turned out to be wrong. And we least expected that the situation would turn this much. So initially it was felt that it won't be much, that is like other countries. So we had this Haridwar Kumbh Mela, and the elections also were scheduled. There was no control with regard to the particular, that is, the people, the leaders, the campaigners who participated. So freely they came, and that is, they felt that they were safe. No masks, no sanitization, no social distancing. So all these, that is, number of factors were there, and most of all, we were not prepared. We did not expect that such a situation would come up. So elections were allowed, and elections were not under the control of the election commission. So once the declaration was made, the COVID guidelines were not taken care of with regard to the guidelines, the regulations, and other matters with regard to the particular election campaigning. So these were certain situations which came up. And especially if you look at Bengal, in Bengal, that is the entire, that is many leaders from Delhi, including the Prime Minister, Home Minister, all of them were in Bengal. And the huge rallies were there, not only by one party, but all the parties. All the parties had huge rallies, and their social distancing was not there, no masks, and there was no control over the particular situation. So immediately when that is I think third or fourth phase, at that time in Bengal, the particular that is spread started. In other parts of the countries, the spread started. So this situation that is could have been avoided if earlier precautions were there. Now we come across Bengal, the elections are over. In Orissa now, one that is by-election is there. The Congress candidate who died due to COVID. While he was campaigning, he suffered and the Congress candidate died. So again, the elections were postponed till May 19th. So that time, that is all the, that is processions, everything went on. But now that is certain guidelines are there will be no processions. Only door-to-door campaignings will be there.
Yeah.
And within that is last few days, you come across that the courts have become, that is, they are looking at the particular situation in a grave manner.
Yes.
Especially the Madras High Court.
Yes.
The Madras High Court. You'll come across that is the judgments given by the Madras High Court. Few days back, this went to the extent calling that the Election Commission is a abettor to murder.
Yes.
They have not committed murder, but they have abetted murder. So abetment to murder is equally punishable like that of committing murder.
Yes, sir.
And they said that the Election Commission, how could it allow the elections without any regulations, without putting any restrictions, without taking into consideration the COVID guidelines? And then the Madras High Court also said that if the election commissioner is unable to, that is, take precautions while controlling, we will issue orders for stopping the counting of elections. They said that the right to health, it flows from Article 21 of the Constitution, the right to life. And the Supreme Court, in a number of cases, they said that right to life includes right to health. So without health, the politics doesn't matter. Who wins, who loses, those are other things. They won't matter. Leaders are also dying, many leaders, including one justice of the Supreme Court of India, many ministers, many people. So the COVID virus, it does not allow, it does not identify any person, no partiality, equally it applies to everyone. So, and also that is after that you find that the Election Commission, it filed a petition before the Madras High Court, stating that one, that is the publication, after that number of newspapers they published giving their views regarding the Election Commission, criticizing the Election Commission, asking for death, that is the death penalty for the Election Commission or taking action against it. So Election Commission went to the Madras High Court stating that there should be a stay on the particular, or that is guidelines should be given that none of the papers should publish with regard to this obiter dicta.
Yes, and they have also cited that one oral observation should not report in the press.
Oral observation, that is called as obiter dicta.
Okay.
The main part of the judgment is ratio decidendi.
Okay.
So ratio decidendi is the operative part of the judgment. And obiter dicta is the number of observations generally are made. They refer to Shakespeare, they refer to many literature and other things. So that is only obiter dicta.
Okay.
Means by the way they speak many things. So
Yes.
the election commission said that is to give a direction that the press, they should not publish the obiter dicta, because it went against the election commission.
It
But
undermines
Madras High Court said nothing doing. We
the.
will allow the press to publish anything, even the obiter dicta.
Yes, yes.
And also there is today in the newspapers you come across the judgment of the Supreme Court, because since that is you come across since last March, that is especially during the peak of the pandemics at different periods, the states, they used to give directions that is no complaints in the social media with regard to the difficulties faced by the patients.
Yes, sir. Uttar
Whether
Pradesh
it was
government is invoked the Security Act, where if
uh,
a patient send a SOS calls in the social media, they're putting behind the bars. And again, one of the investigative journalists appealed to the Supreme Court. Then Supreme Court said, I think Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, there should be not any clampdown of the information at this alarming times. Yes, sir.
yes, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud is one of the that is vocal judges.
Yes, yes. I
That is
mean,
dynamic judges.
sir, the question is whether the Supreme High Courts are responding very aggressively, but still, if I go on now also, there are hospitals lacking oxygen cylinders. Even though governments, solicitor generals also saying that we are managing closely requirements of the oxygen, but still, even I think day before yesterday, a former diplomat died outside of the hospital waiting for the treatment. I mean, situation is so grave, and Delhi High Court warned so many times that government is not waking up to the realities. I mean, the question is, whom should we blame? Whom should we put accountable for these grave things?
Actually, the implementation is done by the government, because policies, the government, the prime minister, the chief minister, they make the policies. They will say immediately supply oxygen. We will send to, that is from Orissa, oxygen went to different states. And from Pakistan also, that is, you'll find today, they have sent oxygen to India. China is ready to send oxygen to India. USA is sending 3. And also that is, we have, government is saying we have plenty of oxygen in the country. The Tata Steel plant, it has given, that is donated all the extra oxygen. So, but in spite of all these, the actual implementation is done on the ground level. The doctors, nurses, the medical staff, that is, they actually carry out the particular activities. You'll come across that is scenes where that is generally, I was also a COVID patient. 19 days I stayed in the COVID hospital. So actually you'll find out that those working in the hospital, they also, that is putting on the PP kit, that kit for that is 8 hours. They have shift of 8 hours. So 8 hours when they put on the particular kit, they cannot drink water, nothing. So after that, when they remove it, that is become tired. And that is they don't get rest during the peak hours. So all this, generally number of factors are there. And also that is oxygen refilling, because the nearby hospital, that is I've found out from that is the people that on the verandas people are lying, and oxygen cylinders are becoming emptied, and refilling it and bringing it back. All these are generally problems. So actually that is stocks may be there, but the coordination part, they actually bringing them together. You'll come across actually that is a voluntary organization should take up. In Delhi, that is, you'll come across that is the Gurudwara. You'll come across in the news the Sikh Gurudwara. It has taken up this oxygen when people are on the road waiting for getting an entry into the hospital. The main point is at that time, if the oxygen dips low, below 50, 40, at that time it becomes precarious to the life of the person. So once he gets oxygen, it comes to 90.
Yes, yes.
And generally the particular that is survival it becomes that is more, that is chances of survival are there. So that oxygen is mainly the cause. And very often this oximeter,
Yes.
that always, that is every person should check, that is once it comes below 94, the particular, that is precaution should be taken, that is generally a person at the home that is lying on the pronic position and breathing. By that, the particular oxygen, it increases. So once it goes above 90, then that is the no danger is there. 94 is the minimum, but above 90, that is home treatment can be there. If it falls below 90, then the problem is there. So number of things are there with regard to implementation. Also, that is illiteracy is there. Also, that is in the newspapers today, there was corruption. Especially there was a raid by the Chief Minister of UP in some hospitals. There they found that fake patients are there. That is RT-PCR test is done. It is shown as positive. Actually, it is negative, and the person is put on the bed, and he is paid some amount of money per day. So when a rich person comes, that is, they charge huge amounts, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, and they give him the bed. And this person who is there, the fake person, he is given that is a negative certificate and left out. And all the medicines in his name, they are used for this new patient. So like this, that is many things are there with regard to this, controlling the situation, the coordination, the supplies of the particular, but government says supply is not a problem. And also another thing is there with regard to this COVID vaccination. You come across that here also, that is the high courts, they have started asking. The Supreme Court has also asked with regard to what is the policy behind this vaccination. For the central government 150, for the state government 400 something, and for private 600. So what is the ratio? Why that is the central government should get less? Why they will be they will distribute according to their likes or according to their policy, and the state government has to buy? Why not, if it is free, or give it free to all? If it is 150, give 150 to all. Because there, that is, if variations are there, the pressure will be on the government hospitals. So the Supreme Court has come down heavily on these matters, especially that is Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. He has that is questioned with regard to number of matters, with regard to that is the central government's policy with regard to drugs, with regard to this vaccines, and the future policies to be undertaken.
Yeah, yes, sir. This is another question is that we never seen that reacting Supreme Courts in a very aggressive way. And there is one question: why judiciary is entering into the executive realm? And there is also another question: what if enters into the executive, because the executive and bureaucrats failing to perform the handling the crisis? That is a question is emerging. What is your saying on this?
Actually, that is you come across two phrases are generally used: judicial restraint and judicial activism. So judicial restraint generally is where the courts, they follow the line of the executive. Whatever the government says, they follow. Judicial restraint. Judicial activism means the Supreme Court gives direction to the particular policy. Because whenever the policy of the government, it is not as per the constitution, nor it seeks to fulfill the goals of the constitution for the welfare of the people, or it infringes upon the fundamental right, human rights, health, livelihood. You come across that you come across one phase was from 1950 when the Supreme Court was established till 1960. That was a period of restraint, judicial restraint. The judiciary did not want to interfere with the government. They used to support the government policies because they said India is a nascent country. But in 1960, you come across the first, that is, there was one Kochuni case, and especially Justice Koka Subbarao. He was on the Supreme Court bench. And he wanted to bring about a relationship between the directive principles of state policy and the fundamental rights. But that is initially could not succeed much, especially then he was followed by Justice Gajendra Gadkar, then especially Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer and Justice Bhagavati. These were two judges who tried to bring about reforms, social welfare. And especially you come across that there was a time when the government wanted to control the judiciary. They wanted to say that the judiciary cannot interfere in those matters which are placed in the 9th schedule. Article 31C is there in the constitution, in that 9th schedule. So they put all the laws, and they said that any law which is put in the 9th schedule, the Supreme Court cannot interfere, judiciary cannot interfere. Then that is especially you come to 1967, one Goloknath case was there. There the Supreme Court, for the first time it said, the judges said, the executive cannot interfere in the fundamental rights. The fundamental rights cannot be amended. Part 3 of the Constitution, it is sacred. The executive parliament cannot touch it. So as a result of this, you come across that is Kesavananda Bharati case. That is, but that is a different thing. But there the Supreme Court said the basic structure. Parliament can amend any part of the Constitution excepting basic structure. Then you come across a dark phase during emergency. Two cases were there, ADM Jabalpur versus Shukla and Bhanudas, where the Supreme Court refused to interfere in any matters. That was an emergency during that emergency period. And all the leaders were put inside jail, opposition leaders. So there, the fundamental rights again was questioned. And the Supreme Court judges, all of them said, we will not interfere with the executive. They said, we have faith in the executive. Only one judge was there, Justice H.R. Khanna. He said that fundamental rights are not given by the Constitution. The state does not give you the rights. You are born with rights. The state cannot take away your rights because you are born. And Constitution amendment cannot take away your rights. So that was Justice Khanna, but he was in a majority. He was the lone dissent. And now also that is after the emergency was over, that is during the emergency, he was not given the post of Chief Justice of India. He resigned from the Supreme Court. And after the emergency was over, in hall number 2 of the Supreme Court of India, you find his portrait, where he gave the judgment in this ADM Jabalpur versus Shukla case. And immediately after that, after the emergency was over in 1978, you come across one case, Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India. And in that case, the Supreme Court said that the procedure, they said that even though we use the word procedure established by law, but it is equivalent to due process of law, where the Supreme Court can look into the validity not only of the procedure but of the substantive law. So that was a simple matter with regard to issue of passport. Mrs. Maneka Gandhi was not given passport, and the passport authority said, because the External Affairs Ministry has asked me, therefore I will not give you the passport. And she challenged, why you are not giving me a hearing? You should have heard me, then you could have ordered. And you are the issuing authority. How you can act upon the dictates of a higher authority simply because the minister phones? You cannot say, no, I will not give. So now that is, you come across this situation, the English courts, with regard to Vijay Mallya extradition.
Yes.
Vijay Mallya extradition, the English courts, they have observed that the bank managers, they had refused to give loan to Vijay Mallya. But there was pressure from the high level, from the political pressure that was there. And that is, the banks were forced to give loans to Vijay Mallya, even though that is the security was not proper. But that is a different thing. But here you come across that this Maneka Gandhi case, after that, a flow of that is judgments came in the Supreme Court where they held that is all the judges, they wanted to bring about social justice. Because earlier in one judgment, that is, they said that persons who are, that is in accidental cases, if a person was taken to hospital, the hospital used to call the police. After the police came, they used to treat the patient. But Supreme Court said, no, that is not the process. You have to first treat the patient, let the police come later. Then with regard to HIV cases, Supreme Court has said that confidential, generally the doctor should keep confidential the matters with regard to the patient. But there, in that case, that is the hospital where the person was treated for this HIV, when they revealed it to the wife, to the would-be woman who was going to marry, and this matter went up to the Supreme Court with regard to right to privacy. So privacy, and the Supreme Court said, because here the life of the woman is at stake. So the doctors are not under a duty to maintain privacy, because here they have to, that is, by revealing this, they will save the life of the woman. Otherwise, both lives will be at stake. So like this, you come, that was one area with regard to privacy. So many, that is, you'll come across in many cases, that is, in a number of cases with regard to environment, clean environment, with regard to Diwali crackers, they have fixed certain, that is sound pollution, with regard to water pollution, with regard to, that is livelihood, with regard to, that is health. So number of decisions are given by the Supreme Court, wherein they have tried to, that is, bring about social justice to the individual. They said that whenever the courts, whenever the executive is not acting, then we have to act.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Sir, another question is that if you look at even up to 22nd April also, where more than 3 lakhs cases are registering, even the Home Minister we have, and even the Prime Minister also says that I have never seen such a huge crowds in my life. I mean, when international media is looking at us, otherwise people are dying. The Prime Minister itself goes into the public and rallies, conducting rallies. Isn't it a kind of bad? I can say that it is a bad face of. It's important to conduct elections because that's important. Democracy also important as health. But as a Prime Minister himself comes into the outside without wearing mask and giving speeches and asking the peoples to wear masks, make proper COVID appropriate behavior, addressing people. I think I don't understand why elections are that much important for leaders at this point of time without even they themselves not following the rules.
Actually, you can find that during the last phase of the Bengal elections, this they have taken steps that no 500 election commission said only 500 should be there. That is at a procession or something, and also that is mostly through door-to-door campaigning. And that is also the Madras High Court. While that is the discussions about going on, it also that is raised questions with regard to this campaigning by all the parties, all the leaders. They used to show the strength. Huge rallies were there. So that is the Madras High Court said the main culprit is the Election Commission. It should have foreseen, it should have restricted, it should have given guidance that no big processions should be there. So that is the Election Commission, because here generally that is sometimes the Election Commission, they are under the control of the government. So very often that is they do not interfere in the particular electoral rallies and other things. So here actually that is a lot of powers are there with the Election Commission, but they do not exercise.
So what
They
do you
can,
mean by
that is,
lot of powers mean? What do you mean by lot of powers?
lot of powers means they can, that is for, that is a violation of the code of conduct. They can even, that is, debar the candidate, or that is, they can later on, they can declare the election of the person invalid because of the violation of the code of conduct. Because some steps were taken, that is, when the chief minister of West Bengal, for 24 hours he was said, you cannot go out, you cannot make public speeches. So like that, powers are there, and restrictions can be made by the election commission, but
Yes.
generally they do not exercise. They do not exercise the powers.
Because they are scared
So,
of politicians.
because generally that is, most of them you come across, that nexus is there.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, people openly talk about it.
No,
About
because
it.
generally you come across that this nexus, and also criticize, that is, some criticize, that is, after retiring as judge of the Supreme Court, they become governors, they become, that is, Rajya Sabha members. So criticism is there. Although that is, government says because of the skills we have taken other things, but why all are not taken? All the judges, why they are not taken? Why few are taken?
Yes, yes. I think so somewhere system has actually collapsed, lost trust. I mean, with this crisis, people understand what it means to be development. I mean, it's not only about economic development. It is about building a inclusive. Like if you look at the Kerala, Kerala anticipated the necessary need of the oxygen, and it has produced more 60% more oxygen than it required. And it is sending to the other nation, even other states. And from the 10th April onwards, the cases are actually rising, and still there is a lack of oxygen. I mean, I don't understand what bureaucrats are doing still. So if you open still Twitter also, people even privileged as well as the so-called rich also, they're also unable to getting the proper treatment. What if this happens to the poor people? I mean, like a wage laborer. I mean, they don't even care if they die on the road also. It doesn't even make a headline properly in the mainstream media.
Because actually that is priority, that is giving priority to certain, that is, projects, certain activities, because health is very low. The expenditure on health is very low. So actually that is, even though that is, on in statistics, because generally that is, statistics, they are generally, they can be manipulated, and statistics generally don't reflect the reality. Because actually that is about 20 people died in a particular district, but it was reported that one death.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, actually, it's
So
also underreporting. Even
underreporting.
CNN, so big international newspapers are telling the truth, but our diplomats responding that India is taking care of its oxygen supply, responding to that, but they're not as proactive. Supplying oxygen and the necessary for the health. They are proactively reacting to the outsider, outside things, like responding to the international new media outlets, like asking you should apologize for yesterday only, I think day before yesterday, the Australian Rupert Murdoch newspaper carried out like hyper nationalism leads to apocalypse. That is the main headline. And then our High Commission in Australia written a letter, very bad worded letter, that you should rejoin. You should apology for conducting such big headlines. Again, the next day, Australian the Australian newspaper with a front headline: people in Indians are dying, dying, dying. I mean, uh, this is such a, they are very proactive in handling those things, but not in the real problems, like health in the New Delhi. Sir, when after all these things, I want to ask this one question, sir. So when things will get normal, if we continue to act like this, what will happen?
Actually, that is, health should be, that is the major priority of the government. Because although we claim that so many hospitals are there, but you'll find that doctors are not there. The appointments are not made regularly. The supplies are not there. the regular supplies are not there. And generally, that is one main hospital will be there in the state medical college. Like in Orissa, you have this Cuttack Medical College, and number of medical colleges have been established. But all these, when patients go to them, the minor treatments are there, and in major cases referred to Cuttack. So they refer all the cases to Cuttack, so the pressure is on Cuttack. And even though number of medical colleges are there, centers are there, but there they are not fully equipped, because certain treatments are there which can be localized, dialysis, and that is this local that is many medical facilities, other things they can be, that is distributed in the different corners of every state. But generally, that is doctors are not there, good that is staff are not there, and in periphery areas doctors don't remain all the time. So even though we have a lot of that is in statistics, the statistics, we may have a lot of facilities, a lot of that is things are there, lot of that is doctors, the posts, number of posts, but in reality, that is, it is not as it is.
So, sir, one final question, sir. I have this one that if you look at the present crisis scenario in major cities, do you think if election conducted across the India would remain BJP get the same popularity, or will the popularity impact across the nation because of this crisis and the mishandling of this crisis? What do you think about it?
Actually, now the election process is only BJP and anti-BJP,
Yes.
anti-incumbency, because actually no leaders are there who can match with the prime minister.
Yes.
That is
True.
in whether it is the analysis of facts or making statements, because you compare the prime minister with all the other leaders. So there you come across a particular that is vacuum is there in leadership, and the real leaders, other parties they have leaders, but those leaders are unable to come out.
Yes.
Because even in Congress you come across some leaders are there, Sachin Pilot is there, and other leaders are there, but they are unable to that is reach the top level. So because there was a time when that is Manmohan Singh, he was that is economist, and he was well revered. So like that persons, if they are projected, there generally that is there can be a balance. But when there's a vacuum in the particular that is opposition, so there either BJP or against the BJP, but against the BJP it may go to anyone, but
So,
not because of the
you're saying
not
that
because of the qualities, but because of anti to BJP.
So you're saying that there is no one to fight against Prime Minister Modi. So Modi will be the again next Prime Minister, no matter what happens. This is what
No,
you're saying. Unless some
that is
miracle
a
happens.
dynamic leader is projected.
Unless some miracle happens and dynamic leader
Unless a
projected.
miracle happens, because that is you compare Modi with all the other leaders, because that is they are leaders.
Yes.
But they, that is the prime ministerial candidates of the other parties, they are not up to that level.
Okay.
Because generally that is he has an art of convincing people,
but not taking care of them.
and that is a different thing. Statistics, other things, that is, but he has a convincing, even when the policies may be a failure.
Yes.
A demonetization, but then too that is people voted for him because they felt that
Like,
some miracle is going.
So like the people deserves the nation's prime minister, like someone said. I heard about it. I think this is true, and we see that we also see that we will hope remain the government will learn the lessons and taking care of the cities peoples in the remaining cities. We'll hope next time Modi government will handle this crisis effectively. I really think it again won't impact third wave corona crisis, because the vaccination drive out, and I hope it will be very successful. Thank you so much, sir, your time. Thank you so much for taking your time to have a conversation with us. We'll again see you very soon. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.